Hermantown boys hockey is back at it again. They took down Delano 7-3 last night. Tonight, another out-of-conference foe, this time in 2A. White Bear Lake comes to town. The Bears have beaten the Hawks each of the last 2 years. What would we have in store tonight in Hermantown? Let's get you out to the action. First period, Cade Nelson with the smooth assist to Noah Thurston, his fourth goal of the season, and the Hawks pick it up right where they left off after that 7-goal game last night. We'll show you some good defense here. How about a nice save by Bryce Francisco, picking it up and keeping the Bears out of the net, but they wouldn't have much luck here. Check out this nice snapshot from Ryan Marquardt from the Bears. He ties things up at 1-1. That's an impressive shot. We had to show it to you. But don't worry, we have plenty more from there. Second period. Show you some defense again. It's Bryce Francisco coming up with the save for the Hawks. And we would have a final score of 3-2. The Hawks remain undefeated. They take care of business.